Overall impressions, though, what are you walking away feeling like after 30 minutes?
I'm feeling like if you enjoyed Mortal Kombat 11, you're going to have a good time here. If there's any reason that you didn't gel with Mortal Kombat 11's gameplay, I'm not convinced that this is going to bring you back.
What the fuck? Overall impressions, though, what are you walking away feeling like after 30 minutes?
I'm feeling like if you enjoyed Mortal Kombat 11, you're going to have a good time here.
I'm feeling like if you enjoyed Mortal Kombat 11, you're gonna have a good time here.
If there's any reason that you didn't gel with Mortal Kombat 11's gameplay, I'm not convinced that this is gonna bring you back.
Hey yo, what the fuck?
So a few days ago, I'm sitting watching a few segments of the Summer of Gaming Showcase with Jeff Keighley, and in comes the Mortal Kombat 1 debut trailer. And there are certain aspects of the trailer that made me scratch my head. And then, after the debut trailer took place, Ed Boon graces the audience with his presence. And he comes out on stage and, starts giving away some information on the game. And then, sometime after this whole event, I'm still left kind of bewildered as to what actually took place and what was revealed. I find a video where Ed Boon has given another interview on this game, and then I start seeing various YouTubers upload gameplay for the upcoming Mortal Kombat that's being released this year, and I'm left with the question of, what the fuck is this? And I'm serious, like, what the fuck is this? To be fair, I don't think the game looks terrible. I don't even think it looks bad. But it looks a lot like Mortal Kombat 11. And that interview that IGN had with one of their staff members who normally reviews these games, it really just made things more clear to me. This game really does look like Mortal Kombat 11.5. And that's not good at all. It even has like the same color palette regarding like the HUD with the health bars and the meters and shit on screen. It really just makes me wonder, like, what have you guys been doing these past few years, So what are the improvements that's been made from Mortal Kombat 11? Because Mortal Kombat 11 was a horrible fighting game, and I want to make that very, very abundantly clear. Mortal Kombat 11 is a bad game. It was a piece of shit. I made a video a few years ago talking about my grievances with the game and everything that was wrong with it. Not just the gameplay modes, not just the gameplay itself, not just the microtransactions, and not just the monetary, predatory bullshit that Netherrealm had deliberately inserted into the game. There were more issues with that game than those few issues. That game was riddled with problems. Considering that this is clearly just an extension of Mortal Kombat 11, I'm wondering, again, what are the improvements? Well, there's two big ones that they have made, and that's in regards to crushing blows, for one, and fatal blows, both of which were introduced in Mortal Kombat 11. Crushing blows have been completely removed, as far as I know. They are no longer in the game, and that is fantastic. A choice. The problem with the crushing blows is that they were extremely imbalanced. And the reason they were imbalanced is because the requirements to pull off certain crushing blows was easier for certain characters and harder for others. And the amount of damage that each attack did varied greatly. Some crushing blows didn't take away much damage, and others would take away up to a third or more of your health bar, which is fucking absurd. And I think the character Geras from Mortal Kombat 11, I think that character had the worst one in the entire game. Will literally take out like half of your fucking health bar with little effort. And yeah, I hated that bullshit. And I'm glad that once again, they've removed that mechanic. It does not need to be in these Mortal Kombat games. Then you have the fatal blows. And the problem with the fatal blows is that they rewarded bad players because essentially they were ultimate attacks that required only the input of 2 buttons, which are the shoulder buttons when prompted on screen. What they've done here with Mortal Kombat 1 is that they've changed the fatal blows so that the game will freeze frame on the character that initiates them, and that'll give the defending player more of a chance to counter whatever is about to take place. They've basically borrowed the way the ultimate attacks were designed in Injustice 2 for this game, and I think that was a brilliant idea. That's how it should have been designed in Mortal Kombat 11. So those are 2 improvements. Another thing is that the combo potential with this game is much higher, and there's more of an emphasis, a clear emphasis on aerial combat. Now, that's where the improvements really end, as far as what I've seen thus far. As far as what's been kept the same and hasn't really been improved at all are the projectiles.
Wider range of projectiles, fire projectiles. You know, like a standard one, if you look, it's like a very tight, like yin-yang that's spinning, that's on fire. He has a ground one that's like a snake, right? He has this gigantic one that he follows up with a flying kick. And then he has an aerial one that shoots like 6 or 7 fireballs. If you catch somebody, you're gonna be juggling them with a number of hits. So his is a lot wilder. He's still very accessible, but it's his projectiles taken to an 11.
There's projectile spam that's still possible in this game. So players that want to zone and spam projectile attacks, the game will not punish them for doing that, and that was a huge problem in Mortal Kombat 11, and it seems that nothing has changed from that game to this one. You still have characters that will have teleport moves where they can teleport across the entire screen within an instant. That was a huge problem with several characters in Mortal Kombat 11, and it seems that it will be an issue here in Mortal Kombat 1 as well. But the main thing that really has me scratching my head are these cameo characters. So as I listened to Ed Boon describe the reasoning or the logic behind Netherrealm inserting these cameo characters into the game, I really was just left wondering, like, what the fuck is he talking about?
Cameos started as a completely different feature. Our design team wanted to have individual things like a drone for Sonya, or kind of like we had the cat with Atrocitus in Injustice 2, basically something that would come out and kind of help you. And I was pushing for everything needs to be used by everyone, right? We didn't want to just have the drone for Sonya, we wanted to have the drone for everybody, right? I didn't want to go full tag because it was a great feature in MK9, but it wasn't the most used feature, right? And I think at the end of the day, it was because players would have to learn 2 full characters, right, completely. So we just use these utilities. So now you like Kung Lao's teleport, grab his cameo and he'll grab you and teleport with you. You know, you like Jax's ground pound, you like Kano's ball, you like all those iconic moves, right? You can take along with you if you like playing Scorpion.
So his whole logic, and by extension the logic of NetherRealm Studios, is that certain players want to use a tag team feature in Mortal Kombat in general, but when they inserted tag team in the 2011 reboot, which was Mortal Kombat 9, not too many people took advantage of that feature. And so their solution was to include basically temporary characters that would act as a tag team partner briefly in order to somewhat give off like a tag team vibe. And I don't think that was wise, especially considering that the cameo characters clearly are tied into the DNA of the game itself. So they're not optional. You have to actually pick one and use them in combat in order to get some of those extended combos. And according to IGN,
it takes a long time for those cameos to come out. Like there's a lot of timing that you have to take into consideration when you want to extend your combo with a cameo. If you are a big tag fighter, you might be used to that. I'm personally not, so it was a big adjustment process for me to wrap my brain around how to extend combos using cameos.
The guy said clearly that it takes some time for the cameo characters to come out. Like, there's some tricky timing with them if you want to get some of those more technical combos in. So this went from feeling like a Mortal Kombat game to feeling like a watered down version of Marvel vs. Capcom. And that's not really what I'm looking for in a Mortal Kombat experience. So with everything that's been revealed thus far, I can't say that I really have much anticipation for this game at this point. And I also want to mention that this is the most negative reveal for a Mortal Kombat game, or even a Netherrealm Studios game, probably in the history of that company. I've seen a lot of people online saying how they're not really behind the idea of cameo characters. And Ed Boon also revealed that during the Summer of Games event, that some of the characters from the main roster will also be available as cameo characters, but not all of them will. And I'd imagine you'll also have cameo characters that won't be available on the main roster. So if they put in characters that are only available as cameos, the player base is going to feel cheated that they can't play as a certain character on the main roster that's been locked behind the cameo feature. The whole thing just seems like a bad idea to me. And again, the fact that this is basically an extension of Mortal Kombat 11, and it's clearly been confirmed, not just through the gameplay, not just through interviews with gaming journalists, but also just, again, looking at the UI and the pacing of the combat itself. I mean, there's not much reason to be excited at this point. Yeah, Mortal Kombat 1, not really feeling it right now. Yeah, it's just a letdown as far as I'm concerned. This is not what I had in mind for the next Netherrealm Studios game. And I would have much preferred, if they were just going to do this, I would have much preferred them just develop Injustice 3 instead of another Mortal Kombat game. And clearly the reason they went with Mortal Kombat is because it's clear, it's obvious that Mortal Kombat sells a lot more than the Injustice games. But at the same time, it's just, why would you do this? And then I was also looking at some of the character designs. Even that, I was just like thrown off. A lot of the characters are modeled after like Asian features, and a lot of them look the same. Like, I can't tell the difference between Kung Lao and Sub-Zero. They look extremely similar. And the redesigns for like Sonya and fucking Johnny Cage, that looks terrible too. I don't even know what the hell they were thinking there. And I think the best character that I've seen gameplay-wise is probably Kenshi, but he looks a little bit slow as far as his startup animations on a lot of his attacks. So, yeah, man, I'm not looking forward to this. I'm not looking forward to this whatsoever. It's a fucking shame. I think Ed Boon at this point, he's become the double-edged sword of this franchise. He's become the George Lucas of this franchise, and he needs to go. He has to go. They need to replace his ass with somebody else. Yep, that's it. That's what I got to say about Mortal Kombat 1. Just whatever at this point.
If your disease becomes known, you will be banished. I only want what's best for you.
Or do you secretly covet my throne?
Wait, so Melina is a queen or empress or some shit, and Katana is still just a princess? I mean, doesn't that, like, negate the growth that Katana had in Mortal Kombat 11? I really don't understand the direction that they're taking this game, but yeah, man, I guess we'll just have to see, because it's not looking too hot right now.